Hello everyone, welcome to Mystic Macabre 01, where we bring you real, chilling, and mysterious ghost stories. If you're a fan of the paranormal, turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and get ready to step into today's story. 3. Terrifying true stories of abandoned buildings. If you enjoy this content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to never miss a spooky story. Story 1. The Forgotten Cottage. The old cottage stood like a specter along the private beach, caught in time between the living and the dead. It was a ghost of the past, frozen in the remnants of a bygone era. The neighbors whispered of its owners, a European family who never returned. To everyone else, it was nothing more than a decaying shell of what it once had been. But for us, the young and reckless, it was our secret haven. We would slip inside, inhaling the dust of history along with the illicit smoke of our joints. The furniture, untouched since the 80s, seemed to shift and change positions on its own. The dim, suffocating darkness of the den, the silent accusation of the untouched wine glasses, and the eerie quiet made it feel like the past was watching us. One day, our curiosity led us to the basement. The door had always been locked, but that night, it stood ajar. An unspoken agreement passed between us. We had to see. But before we could descend, a sound, a knock, echoed from within. It was hollow, deliberate. Panic spiked through our veins, but my brother, ever the bravado, scoffed. Very funny, Jenna. But I hadn't done anything. None of us had. The door creaked open further, slowly, purposefully. A gaping maw to something unseen. We're leaving, now. One of my cousins broke the trance, her voice sharp with terror. We turned to run, but then, from the depths of the basement, something moved. A whisper of fabric against dirt, a shadow unfurling. Then, a voice, not ours, low, guttural. Go. It was all we needed. We tore out of there, feet slamming against the old wooden floors. My brother, last in the line, turned just in time to see a pale hand reach for the basement door, pulling it closed with a chilling finality. The police found nothing. They never do. But days later, my brother returned. He found the bodies of animals, small, fragile things, lying in the center of the living room, untouched by decay. Who or what was leaving them there? I was young, naive, and lost in a city that didn't forgive mistakes. I turned onto the wrong street, Martin Luther King Boulevard, a desolate stretch of urban ruin. The buildings loomed like silent sentinels, watching, waiting. I parked at an abandoned gas station, my heart hammering as I stepped out to call my brother for directions. The night was heavy, the air suffocating. But then, I noticed them. 3 men, leaning against my car, watching. I couldn't speak, could barely breathe. My brother's voice crackled in my ear, unaware of the paralysis gripping me. One of them moved, closing the space between us. His hand reached for my face, his fingers brushing away a tear I hadn't realized had fallen. "Why are you crying, baby?" he murmured. "Nothing bad's happened. Yet." Instinct took over. A story, a lie, escaped my lips, my voice trembling but firm. "I just shot my boyfriend," I choked out. "The cops are looking for me." Silence. Then, without a word, the men scattered like cockroaches, disappearing into the shadows. I barely made it into my car before I collapsed against the wheel, my sobs choking the air. I was saved by a lie. but I will always wonder, what would have happened had I told the truth? Story 3. The Uber ride that led to nowhere. The medical office job was a safe gig, or so I thought. It was just filing paperwork. No people, no risks, just me, the silence, and the night. I called an Uber to take me there. The driver was unremarkable, clean, quiet, listening to soft jazz. I let exhaustion win, closing my eyes. I woke to something wrong. The building before me wasn't the office park I'd seen online. It was a hollowed-out husk, skeletal and crumbling. "We're here," the driver said, his voice unnervingly calm. A cold sweat clung to my skin. My phone, useless, trapped in airplane mode. The building swallowed me as I stepped inside, seeking some form of understanding. My feet crunched over glass, my breath echoing against the emptiness. Then, a noise. From downstairs, someone was coming up. I turned to flee, my heart clawing its way into my throat. But the driver was already there, standing at the top of the stairs, blocking my escape. His breathing was heavy, his stance deliberate. I ran, somewhere, anywhere. My fingers found a door, locked. Another, useless. Then footsteps behind me. And then, light. A flashlight, a voice, firm and commanding. Hands where I can see them. A police officer, pure, impossible luck. The driver vanished into the night. The officer had only stopped because he saw a car idling where none should be. I never saw the Uber driver again. I don't know what he wanted. But I know one thing. I was never supposed to leave that building alive. Extended fear. The shadows that follow. These weren't just brushes with the unknown. These were moments where reality frayed at the edges, where logic faltered, and something else, something ancient, predatory, took hold. Perhaps the cottage was never abandoned. Maybe it was simply waiting. Maybe the streets of Baltimore don't just swallow the lost, they choose them. And maybe, just maybe, some Uber rides are meant to take you somewhere you'll never return from. If you ever find yourself stepping into an abandoned place, if you ever hear a voice that shouldn't be there, run. Rideshare safety. The ride that almost wasn't. A chilling reminder to always verify your driver. In an era where convenience is king, ride-sharing services have become an integral part of modern life. With just a few taps on our smartphones, a car appears at our location, ready to whisk us away to our destination. But with this ease also comes risk, a sobering reality that many don't consider until they find themselves in a situation that shakes them to their core. My story serves as both a cautionary tale and a stark reminder of the importance of vigilance. The fateful night. It was an ordinary evening, much like any other. I had finished a long day and was eager to get home. Opting for the convenience of a ride-sharing service, I opened my app, entered my destination, and requested a ride. The estimated wait time was just a few minutes, and I took a deep breath, relieved that I wouldn't have to wait too long. As I stood there, the night air felt crisp, a subtle reminder that winter was just around the corner. Streetlights flickered overhead, casting long shadows across the sidewalk. The occasional pedestrian walked by, lost in their own world, earbuds in and heads down. My phone buzzed in my hand, a notification from my driver. "Arriving now," it read. I scanned the street, searching for the car that matched the description on my screen. A four-door sedan pulled up, its headlights cutting through the dimly lit street. The driver, A young-looking Caucasian man with brown hair and a goatee wore a zip-up sweatshirt. He looked like any other person, ordinary, unassuming. He nodded at me, gesturing for me to get in. Something inside me hesitated. It was a gut feeling, a fleeting whisper in the back of my mind telling me that something was off. A moment of uncertainty. Just as I reached for the door handle, my phone buzzed again. I glanced down. 4 missed notifications from Uber. Hello? I've arrived and I don't see you. Can you confirm the pickup address is correct? I am flashing my hazards. Unfortunately, your driver had to cancel. My heart stopped. The real driver had canceled. So who was this man in front of me? My eyes darted back to the car. The man inside was still waiting, still expectant. My hesitation must have been apparent, because his expression changed. It was subtle, but there was an impatience to it now, a silent urging for me to hurry up and get in. But I couldn't. I took a step back, my mind racing. My phone showed the license plate and driver's name. Neither matched the vehicle in front of me. Cold dread washed over me as I realized the gravity of the situation. This wasn't my ride. The escape panic set in, but I forced myself to stay calm. If I reacted too obviously, I might provoke the man. Instead, I took another step back, then another. Pretending to check my phone, I gave a quick nod, signaling that I had changed my mind. The man hesitated, then, without a word, drove off. I watched the taillights disappear down the street before exhaling a shaky breath. Only then did the full weight of the moment hit me. What if I had gotten into that car? What would have happened? The possibilities sent a chill down my spine. The aftermath, I immediately reported the incident to the ride-sharing service and local authorities. Unfortunately, without a license plate or solid identifying details beyond a generic description, there was little they could do. Reflecting on the encounter, I realized how dangerously close I had come to an irreversible mistake. My only description of the man, young, Caucasian, brown hair, sideburns, goatee, 4-door sedan, zip-up sweatshirt, could have described countless people in the city. It was a terrifying thought. Lessons learned. This experience changed the way I approach ride-sharing forever. Here are some key lessons I took away that everyone should remember. 1. Always verify the driver and vehicle. Before stepping into any car, confirm the driver's name, photo, vehicle make and model, and license plate number. If anything doesn't match, do not get in. 2. Use the safety features in the app. Most ride-sharing apps have safety features like sharing your trip details with a trusted contact, emergency buttons, and driver verification tools. Use them.